a couple of years ago, before the whole marriage equality thing passed, there was a big marriage equality queer convention thing down in large city adjacent to me, and a friend of mine, it was one of those big, huge, big ticket pillar events. Jazz Jennings and a whole bunch of other quote unquote famous people were there. And I knew a friend of mine went, and I had just recently been at like large convention venue. And so I messaged her and I'm like, so what was the bathroom situation like? Because I had just been there and argued with staff about bathroom access.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah. And also I knew some disabled advocates, physically disabled advocates who were there and had access issues as well. So I'm messaging her and I'm like, so when you did your photo op, were there any issues that occurred? And the issues basically boiled down to, when we have an event of X size, we only open X number of restrooms based on purely large numbers expected.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, but see, the problem with that, when I was there at that venue for a disabled flavored event prior to the queer one, you have a disproportionately large number of wheelchair and other assorted mobility equipment users. So normally having two wheelchair accessible bathrooms open for the entire, actually no, they closed it because I snuck and got into one that I wasn't to know was unlocked. Because
I mean,
I do this thing where if a door doesn't say you can't go in there and I see it opened, I'm gonna go through the door.
yeah.
And if you didn't tell me that I couldn't be there, I'm going through the door. And especially if I see staff cut through there, I'm going through the door. So for half the convention, for half the event that I was at, I used bathrooms that were supposed to be locked, that I wasn't supposed to have access to or even know were viable.
Yeah.
Because I'm a sneaky bitch, and that's how I roll.
Well, I mean,
door said staff. It didn't say staff only.
I mean, the thing about that is like, there's so many bathroom problems
exactly.
with disability stuff. Like,
yes,
I played a jokey bathroom Empire simulation game on my phone, and like one of the places, bathrooms for people with disability was considered a luxury.
Well, of course it is. You know why? Because they're bigger, and it's easier to do your makeup and change your clothes and get ready for a date in there. You want to know how many times I've had to curse bitches out over that shit?
Oh my god.
I don't care. If you're waiting for your date, do that somewhere else. Having been seeing aftermath of the conference where like bathroom this was immediately after bathroom bill had been like a huge issue. Being somewhere subsequently where I was specifically told, and people at the conference that I was at were specifically told, no, you don't need that many bathrooms. No, you don't need that wait. And like, there's a line of us, like all the way like down 2 hallways.
Yeah.
You have the facilities, unlock the damn door.
Yeah.
And being told objectively, no, you don't need it. Wait your turn. And then simultaneously to be told, oh, you don't have an equality issue. Oh, you don't have an equity issue. How long has the ADA been passed? It's like, no.
Yeah, bathrooms are kind of important. You know, people should realize the level of importance a bathroom is, because people need to pee, and it's apparently illegal to, you know, pee all over the floor of a place. So you have to use the bathroom for some reason.
Well,
bathrooms
have always been used to control participation.
Yes,
that sort of thing. That's
the golden leash is a thing. Still is, very much so.
Yeah, and if you don't, you know, then you don't have to see as many disabled people as there are. It can always just be a rare thing, because if you prevent events where a bunch of disabled people end up, you know, showing up to.
Well, but then you also have the flip side of, oh, we had this event, but they didn't participate fully and they didn't appreciate it completely. So why would we have another event? Because obviously those disabled people are just, uppity and ungrateful. So
yeah, you should be grateful for the small bits of scrap that we give you.
Correct.
I'm going to sit back here with my wondrous luncheon of high quality food, but when I handed you the scraps of the leftover food, you're like so fucking ungrateful.
Oh yeah, but it was just funny to me because at that conference I was told, she looks at this and this person is very involved in like a lot of advocacy for a lot of minority groups, but not directly with disabled people aside from me, because she's just not that lucky in her general life. She's like, yeah, I didn't notice that at all. I'm like, yeah, you want me to show you these threads where people like at that event were like, yeah, I couldn't actually like do what I needed to do safely and participate in the event? Oh yeah, I didn't even notice that was a problem. Yeah, you wouldn't notice it because whenever you needed pee, it wasn't really a problem.